Hi guys, my name is Jennifer and I am creating this post for family and friends that were curious about the 21-day water fast that I just completed. Today was 21 days and I had my first bit of food. So started out with some yogurt. It was delicious. But anyway, I wanted to answer a few questions that people had regarding the fast and what my experience was with it. The first thing that I want to mention is before you do any kind of fasting, you want to check with your doctor, make sure that it's going to work with any medications that you have, or that you might need to change medications or adjust medications based on the results that you're seeing. For example, your blood pressure medication during a fast, because your body's actually getting a chance to do better than it normally would because of the foods and everything else that you're intaking, you can have a reduction of medication that you normally would need. So that's something I highly recommend. Check with your doctor. Make sure they're on board with what you're doing. Dr. Alan Goldhammer has a video out called Water Can Save Your Life. It is on YouTube, and I highly recommend that. It answers so many questions about whether water fasting is healthy for you. All the questions that you're going to get from people asking you, well, you don't eat any food at all? No, I didn't eat any food at all, and I am fine, and I'm alive and well, and all that kind of good stuff. It was a great experience, and you'll find a lot of good information. For example, there's studies that show a man that weighs 154 pounds can fast on water between 6 and 8 weeks and not have any kind of nutrient loss whatsoever. Our bodies were designed to fast, but because we are inundated with food all around us and we take in all kinds of stuff that's not food but it's called food, we get this excess in our bodies, and that's really what it is. Your body is not, it doesn't suffer because it has a depletion of something. It is because we ourselves have forced food and other things called food into our mouth, and it has created an excess in our body, and that excess never gets used because we never go without food. So it kind of stands to reason why fasting works and how it works. But all that information, if you go into detail, check out that website and that Facebook post that he has. Like I said, it has a tremendous amount of information in it. For myself, what I did is I first asked my husband to join in with me on this. Not that he would ever fast, but this is what my plan is. This is what I want to do for health reasons, and because I also, while I was losing some weight, I wanted to kind of give my body a chance to battle this with everything I could do to help it. And so fasting, weight loss is one of the side effects of that, but there's so many other things going on internally where your body's actually starting to heal. So I asked my husband, please be on board with me and support me. That's really all I need you to do, is just support me. He went above and beyond that. When it came time to cook food for the family, he would cook the food and do the dishes, so I didn't have anything to do with that, because that was really probably the hardest thing. Was, I could go without food and I wouldn't be hungry until I would smell pizza or smell something that just smelled heavenly and that it would be really good. And so if I wasn't around that, if I could just go into my room and read a book or watch a video or a show or something like that, it helped me get through that time. So here are the two cheats that I incorporated, and I figured it was better to cheat a little bit than give up on this project completely. So every day I did have a cup of coffee, and whether I drank it all or not, a lot of times I would just have a few sips, and I really think that it was more out of habit that we just kind of get in this routine and we miss pouring our cup of coffee. I'd have a couple of sips, and then sometimes I would completely forget about it because I would be on to drinking water throughout the rest of the day. The water cannot consist of lemon or any other flavors in it, because the idea is to be on a 0 calorie or caloric intake. So nothing of that nature. Here's what I did on my second cheat, is when I would have days where just maybe mentally I wasn't strong enough to say, all right, I'm just going to do water only. I would get some chicken broth, and there's several different kinds out there that you can get, but I did one that was called Better Than Bouillon, and I would heat up water in the microwave in a cup, and I would do half the serving of the bouillon and heat that up. It was 10 calories, and I would eat that like soup. So, and you'll find just so much information. Some of it kind of contradicts itself out there depending on what kind of fast people are doing. On this particular fast, again, you want to try to stay to no caloric intake, but you will find that some people will say if you take less than 50 calories in a day, you're not going to break your fast doing it that way. Now, some people say, well, do you take apple cider vinegar or any other kind of supplements during the fast? And the answer is no. I did one time when I was suffering from some acid reflux, and there's a study that shows it's really not too much acid in your stomach that causes that, but really a lack thereof. So yeah, I did 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, and then I think it's an ounce of apple cider vinegar diluted in water. And I can't stand the smell or taste of it, so I drink it really fast and then I just flush it down with water. But that actually calmed my stomach down immediately, so that worked great. So here's the other thing that they recommend that you do before you start a fast. And if you've never done a fast before, it's really a good idea to start out on smaller fasts. It's kind of hard for me to say that, but it does get you used to it. The reason I say it's hard for me to say that is because I really feel like the first 4 days are the hardest of all. And so I'm like, why torture yourself? Why not just go for it? But you need to kind of understand what your body's going to do and what to expect. Plus, when you're doing a long-term fast, you want to be able to kind of rest during that time frame. If you work too much, you actually kind of reverse the process of what's going on with your body. So your body's not just burning glucose, but it's burning protein now, which puts you more in a state of ketosis. And that's not where you want to be on a long-term fast. So try to find a time where you can take it easy. And if you can't do that, then maybe it's a good idea to do, start out with a 2-day fast and a 3-day fast and a 5-day fast. And maybe you do that throughout your series of fasting, or you do intermittent fasting. But I just don't want you to get into something that causes you to feel sick because you've got too much going on. Also, if you're undergoing a very stressful period of time, then it's also not a time to do a long-term fast. So that being said, before you start a fast, you want to, if at all possible, reduce your carb intake and your sugar intake, alcohol, cut all those way back, or caffeine, because that way you don't get that withdrawal. Me, I'm a glutton for punishment, so I didn't cut back anything, and I said, all right, I'm doing this, and I started the next day, and I paid for it. I got through it, but the headaches were there, just kind of an overall just crappy feeling, but I knew to expect that. So the first 2 days, I just kind of laid around in bed and I'm like, ugh, I got to get over this. And I did. And day 4, like I said, I felt better, but the cravings for food were there. And so I had to get over that. Once I got past day 4, I did all right. Day 8 for me, was a game changer. Some people experience this at day 4, and probably had I done some of the cleaner eating beforehand, I would have experienced that, but it just took my body this much longer to get to that point. But on day 8, it was so much easier. I didn't have the food cravings. I wasn't fantasizing about where I was going to go eat when I was done with this. It was just easy. It was just the way it was. They also have to know I am not a big water drinker, so that was also a big change for me. One of the tips for that is, you can have your pitcher of water that you would drink out of, and this is your goal that you're going to drink out of the day. But you can take that and you can pour it into a pretty glass, whatever your favorite glass is. I don't care if it's a wine glass, you can pretend. But anyway, put it in a glass and drink it that way. I also found that room temperature, it's much easier on your cold water. It's really hard on the spleen. So room temperature went down a lot faster, and I was able to get more intake of water that way. So the water's going to help flush your system. It's going to help with the headaches. It's going to help you feel satisfied. So it's just, water is just so good for you. But like I said, I'm working on it, and I'm obviously so much better with that. With a fast, the other thing that you're going to find is, while you may try to moderate clean eating, whether it's no sugar or no carbs or no alcohol, all of those things take time for your body to adjust. When they say your taste buds change, it's really a science of the cells that are changing within that. So when you fast, your body is basically pushed way, way, way down the line as far as adjusting to those better food tastes. And so when you go a little bit at a time, it'll happen. It's just going to happen much slower. So if you want to kickstart some kind of new healthy eating program, then fasting is the way to do that. Get those cravings out of your system, and then start from fresh. What other questions were there that people had? Sagging skin. How much weight did you lose? All that. So let me talk about that real quick. I will say that I had started just more like of a Weight Watchers plan at the end of Thanksgiving. And so I lost about 10 pounds doing that. And then in a day after Christmas is when I started this water only fasting. So the water fasting, I lost 18.2 pounds in 21 days. And then 19 inches total. Now some of that may be from the 3 weeks prior, but I should have measured right before the fast, but I didn't. So 19 inches total. So I went down from a BMI of 28.9 to 24.76. So my goal is still, I want to lose about 35 more pounds. So that'll get me, that'll be borderline too skinny for me. But I'd rather get that way and then have a little room to work with than not go ahead and shoot for that goal. So what I may do is from this point on, go ahead and do some healthy eating, give my body a chance to kind of recoup, level out, and then try another 5-day fast from here. Sagging skin. Sagging skin does not happen when you do the water fast, no caloric intake diet. The reason is you can get on ketosis and you can lose 100 pounds and you will have flabby skin, and just because you lost weight so quickly. When you fast, your body actually does something very, very different. You are not in ketosis the whole time. You are for maybe the first week. Day 8, your body actually changes the way that it processes, how it stores its energy and how it uses its energy. And in that process, that's where we talked about it's actually healing itself. There are certain things that happen that we can't get our bodies to heal any other way like that. Let me give you an example. I talk about plaque being in the brain, and we can't see that until you die. And so, but it causes dementia and Alzheimer's and all of that. After day 8 of water fasting, your body actually starts to eat at that plaque and gets rid of it because it says, hey, this is something that's not supposed to be here. We don't need it. Let's use that for some energy. Let's get rid of it. And it gets it out of your system. People use fasting for just an unbelievable amount of illnesses and aches that they have. Rheumatoid arthritis, allergies. Oh, just take allergy pills. One in the morning, one at night. Since I started fasting, I haven't taken any allergy medication at all. Migraines. I haven't taken any medicine for migraines, and I have them probably 2 times a week. And that's with nerve blocker pain meds. So I haven't had any of those this week. I used to get up to go to the restroom 2-3 times a night, and now I sleep completely through the night, and it's great. So that's just some of the few things right off the top that I will say that I've noticed. The other thing is, be prepared for some mental awakenings as well for you. For me, I'm sorry, family, I was very grouchy during times. My patience was very short. So my kids didn't get 5 warnings to pick their toys off the floor. They got like 2, maybe 3, and then it was, monster mom coming out, get the toys off the floor. So, you have to just kind of be aware of that. Prepare your family, be nice, at least give them a heads up of what's going on so they know you still love them, and, you just haven't lost your mind. You just haven't had any food yet. So that's just, for me, that was my experience. The other thing is that you'll notice you're going to get a very clear sense of what it is that you want in your life. Or hopefully you will anyway. You'll have a lot more time on your hands when you're not thinking about food, prepping for food, cleaning up after food. It's amazing. So, but you're going to have some time. For me, I had some personal things that came up that I realized that I hadn't dealt with. And so, now I have to decide, do I want to address this with that person, or maybe just deal with it internally, let some things go and move on. But that's one thing that you might very well experience. The other thing that happened for me is that while I am currently a licensed massage therapist, I've always had a great love and passion for people and helping them. So I started my journey to become a life coach. So now I can help people reach their dreams and their desires, whether it be a healthier lifestyle or minimalism or in their relationships, whatever that is. But that was just something for me that I found very, very interesting. It changes the way you think about things. And it also helped me appreciate how grateful I am and how much my body does for me, and that I should be doing something a little to give back and to help support my body. Okay, so I don't want to keep rambling on. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that I might have missed. Anyway, I don't know how this works, if it will let you put comments or whatever, but you can certainly do that, and I will answer any questions that you may have, at least from my experience. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you have a blessed day. Bye.